Hi, this is Sean Kim, and welcome to Vim Tips. We're going to talk about timeout. So, if you have a command, normally when I type in a letter A in normal mode, it puts me into insert mode. But if I happen to have a command that conflicts with this, which makes it ambiguous, like for example, if I create a mapping for AB to echo hello, now if I press AB, it says hello at the bottom. But if I press A, you have to wait 1 second before it goes into insert mode. And that's because it doesn't know if you mean A or AB, so it waits 1 second. So there's a timeout of 1 second. And you can adjust this. So let's see what the value of the timeout length is. It's set to 1000, which is 1000 milliseconds, 1 second. And we can adjust this to, let's say, set timeout length to be 500. So now when I type A, it's a little bit faster, and you can adjust this time to whatever you think you feel good about. Let me reset the timeout len back to 1000. Okay, another problem is with escape code sequences. For example, normally when I'm in normal mode and I press capital O, it opens up a new line, and I don't have any problem. It happens very quickly. But if I'm in insert mode and I press escape capital O, it waits 1 second before it actually opens the line. And the reason why is because there is an escape code sequence that starts off escape capital O, and for example M gives you the keypad for the minus sign. This is actually what happens. This is a key code sequence when you hit the minus sign on the keypad. And so it doesn't know whether when you press escape capital O, whether you want to open a line or you're actually pressing the minus sign. And so it waits 1 second. So let's take a look at the ttimeout. The ttimeout is different from the regular timeout because the ttimeout is looking at the escape code sequences. So let's take a look at the ttimeoutlen, and it's set to -1. So when it's set to -1, that means it uses the timeoutlen value, which is defaulted to 1 millisecond. I mean 1000 milliseconds. So let's change this. And because the escape code sequences are sent by the computer, it's very fast, unless you're in a very slow connection. But most of the time, it'll be pretty quick. So let's set the ttimeoutlen to be 10 milliseconds. So now if I'm in insert mode and I press escape capital O, you can see it happens immediately. So if you fall into this problem where you're pressing escape and then capital O and you have to wait, then it might be a good idea to put this in your vimrc. So let me go into my vimrc, find a good place for it. Actually, maybe better over here. And you can set the ttimeoutlen to be 10 milliseconds. And now when you press escape capital O and other escape sequences that you're typing, then you don't have to wait that 1 millisecond.